Salutations, Utopians. Hope y'all making the most of the week. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about the NBA. Finally, jump started the NBA regular season. Last night was a full slated amount of games. I love the Orlando Magic versus the Cavs. I really enjoyed the Lakers versus the Warriors, even though they laid a big dud. I always find joy in seeing the Warriors preserve whatever left they have of their dynasty. I don't know what it is. Very scrappy bunch, a lot of young prospects, but watching Steve Kerr do that balancing act between the old and the new is very fascinating. Whatever that sell job was from the Lakers yesterday, who cares? That was a joke. AD gave him 27 and 15 in 33 minutes. What I don't understand is why, oh man, whatever. And then the Clippers and the Thunder. The Clippers and Thunder last night was so amazing to watch, just for the simple fact I just love the poise of that young nucleus the Oklahoma City Thunder have. I really do feel like Jay Williams is the new James Harden. At some point, you're going to see that. Chet Holmgren has flashes of KD. It's just and Shai Gilgeous is just such a crafty scorer. The Clippers might have found their kryptonite, even though the Thunder had real difficulty stopping Zubac yesterday. They're going to have to learn when to balance going to the paint and then also handling their youth. But the bigger problem, and then handling their big four actually. Paul George, Kawhi, Westbrook, James Harden. Any event, I want to talk a little bit about the direction the NBA needs to head moving forward, fresh out the All-Star break. So, as you all know, there was a very underwhelming All-Star performance. Slam dunk contest looked very mundane. They're in a situation right now where they've got to figure out how to reinvent the wheel. I thought the in-season tournament did a wonderful job creating discourse, which ultimately is the key right now in a long 82-game season. The NBA is definitely not doing away with that format, nor should they. However, one interesting tidbit about the in-season tournament, none of the stats apply to regular season records. So now they did a partnership with some people in Saudi Arabia who also are moving in the market. The Saudi Arabian demographic is moving into the PGA. You're seeing some influence in just overall sports and entertainment, long, short. Now they've just bought a sponsorship deal with the NBA, did a partnership. NBA Emiratis will host the in-season tournament, which is great. What the NBA needs to do, I think, to fix a lot of the problems that are going on, two major things, maybe three. One, the NBA needs to use the in-season tournament to thin out the regular season games, push it towards the second half post-All-Star game. That will allow guys to warm up. I was listening to Shaq, Kenny, and Charles have a heated debate about when is the more appropriate time to see a big time, big whale type of team. Do you want to see a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder in the team like the Nuggets in the first round, fresh, let's get it out the way? Or do you want to get a warm-up team in the beginning, a team that's faking the funk, i.e. a Minnesota Timberwolves, and then run into a team like Denver? And it calls for a lot of heated debate. And once again, that was I know they love each other like bros, but it did like one of those heated, passionate debates. And I thought about the NBA regular season following the similar format. I'd rather get some games in, but let's push the major games to the second half of the year. Why that would also help, it would follow the wave off the March Madness run. March Madness has something the NBA doesn't, and that's people's emotional ties to their alma mater. It's more personable, it's more humanistic because people have actually gone to certain colleges, so obviously they're going to root for their alma mater. That spirit, plus players are playing, well, formerly used to not be about the money. Now with the NIL deal, with the NIL deal, it has been a little bit more monetized, and money does change everything. Think about it. That's what makes the in-season tournament so interesting. They incentivized it for the players by adding $500,000 to the team that wins. And that's why now you're seeing Anthony Edwards make proposals into the All-Star game, which segues into my next point. That would allow the All-Star game to basically ride off the fumes of March Madness. People are going to still be hungry for competitive basketball. That would make the league now bottleneck into the playoffs, which makes players play harder. No more load management because you can't afford to if you're trying to play for a ring, and that is ultimately where legacies are decided. So that would literally, now you got the tournament cup, which is going to garner buzz. Then you're going to push the All-Star game, and in the All-Star game, which would get pushed back into following during the March Madness run, in the All-Star game, that would allow also lost my train of thought. Let's just say that ultimately the All-Star game, March Madness coincide together. You're able to ride that wave, and now the playoff seeds are far more competitive. Don't forget, you still have the play-in. Now this year, what's looking like is a cosmic clash aligning between the Warriors and Lakers. So that's going to have an NBA Finals type of feel and vibe to it. Even though Golden State is moving in, I think the West is up for grabs. And I think if there's any team that's currently in the playoffs right now, like Philadelphia is in danger of falling out of the East because no Joel Embiid, the same can be said about the Sacramento Kings, but it's not from a lack of it's not from injuries. It's just simply they're not designed and constructed. That's another fake filler team right now who are regular season warriors who in all actuality, once they get into the playoffs, are going to get bounced quick and early. Minnesota and Sacramento. And the thing is, I watched Sacramento yesterday struggle against the lowly the lowly Spurs. Wemby gave them everything they could have. And so when you're looking at what's transpiring, I could probably see the Kings falling out of the top 8 and the team like the Warriors probably taking their spot, and then the Lakers are obviously going to knock off the Kings because they did not do what they needed to do in order to get themselves a third guy at the trade deadline, whether it be a Kuzma or just someone who packs a punch, or another physical two-way defender like a Dory Finney-Smith. But they desperately need a guy who can go for 20 on the perimeter and get his own, and they just don't have that. And so I don't think they got enough weight to really make a push necessary. So with that being said, these are some of the proposals. Going about the All-Star, then maybe they should, instead of the East-West, make it international versus USA, and take the G League and pair them against, pin them against college basketball's very best elite prospects, and have a showdown in that way to spice things up. Because the dunk contest, everyone has done with the dunk contest. We've seen every dunk. Okay, it's getting mundane. Maybe they can do away with it, give it a couple years off. Let's promote the G League against, and you got to have at least 2 years eligibility to be qualified as a G League All-Star. Pair the G League versus college basketball's best. They don't necessarily have to be guaranteed to be going to the NBA next year. They just need to be able to thrive and excel on the collegiate level, and then pin USA versus USA versus international. All right, Utopians, I'll try to do better next time. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let's make the most of the week. Global out.